Hey guys, this is Michael, and today we're playing Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb for the PlayStation 2. This is my favorite Indiana Jones game ever on Xbox. Let me repeat this. This is Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb for the PlayStation 2. This is my favorite Indiana Jones game ever on Xbox. Meaning, this is a terrible version of my favorite Indiana Jones game. Now, this game isn't unplayable by any means, but it's blurry as shit. I can barely make out the lettering, and I don't know how they went so wrong on this port. I know that the PlayStation 2 wasn't capable of bump mapping or anything like that, which the fantastic Xbox 3, not Xbox 360 version, the original Xbox version had, as well as the PC version. That's fine. But the fact that it has this blurriness and you can barely read anything. But despite all that, it's still fun. And if this is your only option, I'd still give it a shot. Now, if I feel like they were really going the right direction. Granted, the person who plays Indiana Jones kind of sucks. I believe the guy who does Indiana Jones's voice in the Staff of Kings actually did a fantastic job, and I wouldn't mind seeing him do more Indiana Jones games as Indiana Jones, because the guy from the Fate of Atlantis was in the Infernal Machine was pretty terrible, even though some people think he's good. He sounded like an old man and not the grumpy Harrison Ford old man. But this just had the right Indiana Jones feel with the fighting mechanics. Now, story-wise, it was kind of shitty. I mean, this is kind of shitty just for the fact it's too far-fetched. Indiana Jones, and a lot of movies like Ghostbusters and whatnot, it kind of eases you in. Like Ghostbusters eased you into accepting the fact that there was going to be over 100-foot tall Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, like, and they had people, the Ghostbusters had started business, etc., etc. Raiders of the Lost Ark. When you first saw the movie, you weren't expecting to see somebody's face get melted off, another face explode, and have a bunch of angels and ghosts go through a bunch of Nazis and blow holes through them. No. You had to first see Indiana Jones doing his archaeologist thing and looking for treasure and stuff. If you may or may not notice, this game is Vaseline blurry, blurrier than any Nintendo 64 game that I've ever seen. Why they felt that they need to put a resolution on this low is beyond me, because I know the PlayStation is capable of better than this. Now, I could understand if the textures themselves weren't sharp, but this low resolution of blurriness is sort of inexcusable, but the game is still fun. Let me change the camera, because I don't like it when you have to push down and push up. I'm not flying an airplane, I'm trying to control a camera. Now this game has one thing going for it that's perfect, and that's the action, and it's got the action thing down pat. It kind of plays like Tomb Raider, but it doesn't take itself too seriously, kind of like the other Indiana Jones games. Unlike the Staff of Kings, this game does not require any kind of move controls or crazy button press quick time events. This game has some weird double vision thing. I don't know if that's just a glitch in the coding. This is before the time of patches. It almost looks like this game was like in 3D or something. But I'm playing it on a big HD screen. The last time I played this was on a CRT television screen. It looked blurry on that too, but then when I got an Xbox and played that version, It looked absolutely fantastic. The textures were sharp, everything was sharp, it had bump mapping, reflections, and everything else. But the sound in this game is still good, beside the impersonator of Harrison Ford not being the greatest, but he's better than the one on Fate Atlantis and the Infernal Machine. At least I think that's what the game was called. The fighting on this is just right.
I can use this water to fill up
The
my
supernatural stuff is kind of ridiculous. I'm still getting used to the controls. They were liquidating the PlayStation 2 game, so this is really the first time in a long time I played this game. There's a PC version of this. That's probably the best version. I don't know if it runs on any current operating systems, but I'm sure. Sorry, I was looking at his inventory. I'm sure you could find a way to play the PC version. The Xbox version is compatible with the 360. I probably would have got that, but I did hear that the sound is out of sync. And I think I had this game from when I originally had the 360, and I believe that's an accurate statement. But you can play it on the original Xbox if you still have that, but I think most people got rid of their Xbox when they got a 360, unfortunately. The frame rate in this game isn't consistent. You can like see it move somewhat smooth and then all of a sudden it'll slow down. Still getting used to the controls. I guess triangle makes him go up against the wall. He's trying to be like Solid Snake a little bit. I beat this game a long time ago, so you'll have to forgive me if I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I feel like he should be able to push through that. But you know, it doesn't matter what I feel. Yeah, here I go. Only have to be an inch away from it to be able to tell that it needs to be swiped.
Good thing I brought my whip.
Equip the whip. That was a fun little ride. I always want a sequel to this game versus the one we got with the Staff of Kings, but I think the Indiana Jones game that was originally scheduled to release on the 360 and PlayStation 3 would have been like the Staff of Kings. I mean, would have been like this in terms of gameplay. It looked really cool with the physics or whatnot, but I don't know what Disney's gonna do with all the LucasArts franchise and stuff like that. I know they just gave the Star Wars franchise to EA, which I think is actually a really good idea. I know people are EA evil, and then they make like cross signs as if a vampire is attacking them, but they have like BioWare and whatnot, and when's the last time LucasArts actually did something super cool with the Star Wars license? Honestly, at least EA has some decent companies under them. I don't think EA is the evil corporation that people make it to be all the time. The fighting's satisfying as long as you finally figure out what you're doing. Unlike me, who's trying to get used to it. I like that Indiana Jones kind of fights dirty on this. He's not like a professional ninja karate guy or something like in a lot of games. It looks so weird that he cut that just by stabbing it. But I don't think this game is going for realism. shit. That's crazy you're not bleeding after that. I always liked how he kicked those things down. It just looks like he's having a mini temper tantrum. It's like, I didn't get the toy out of the Happy Meal I wanted. They gave me the Stegosaurus instead of the T-Rex. I wanted the T-Rex. Speaking of T-Rex, I'm still pissed. I missed Jurassic Park in 3D. I really wanted to see that. Oh, you hit me with a bottle. What a dick. Just cut your damn chair in half with my sweet machete. I don't know what that move was all about. I'm stabbing the shit out of him. Rated T for teen. This game doesn't have that varied of a soundtrack, but it's cool that they actually did record original music for this game. They actually had an orchestra actually play the newly written music for this game. Oh shit. I forgot how to drink my water out of my thermos. I'm dead. But I think it would have worked good, like how they did with the Staff of Kings is to inject music from the movies. This was before Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, so they had 3 movies worth of music to work with, but they just used original music for this, beside of course the Raiders theme, but it's not a full Raiders theme. Because the Raiders theme usually goes with the, you know, the Indiana Jones theme, and then it delves into like some of the themes and stuff from the movie, and then it like slowly goes back to the Indiana Jones theme, where the Raiders march is always, it's like a musical movie rendition of the movie, and I guess in shorthand, because it doesn't play every single music cue from the movie, but it plays like some of the musical cues from the movie, and then goes back to the Raiders and march, like here's Indiana Jones, then Indiana Jones goes through all this shit, and then the music starts up slower again to the Indiana Jones theme, like he slowly overcomes, and then it goes straight to the regular dun 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 dun, like he finally overcame it. This kind of just goes to the Raiders theme, like whatever this game's theme music is, and this it doesn't have that build up, it just goes straight to the regular Indiana Jones theme. Again, it doesn't feel finished. I feel like square is the way to go most of the time. You only want to use X sparingly, I guess. I'm sorry I got geeky right there about Indiana Jones music. It's okay they don't use the music from the 4th movie. To be honest with you, I can't think of one original music cue from Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls, and I'm not saying that that movie was terrible, but it wasn't a good Indiana Jones movie. People are like, well, it wasn't as bad as Temple of Doom. I actually like Temple of Doom. I like all of them, really. And I think the more I watch Crystal Skull, it grows on me. It's just taken a really long time, but, you know, maybe I would have felt differently if I saw Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom when I was 25, or however old I was when it came out. I believe I was 25. maybe 24, I can't remember, versus being 6 years old, or I must have been 6 or 5, I don't know, it was more in 84, and I'm not trying to do the math, but I was around that age when I watched the home video, because it came out the year I was born in 1984. So I didn't get to watch it until I was a little bit older. My parents said, "Here, watch this, you might like it." And when I was a kid, if it wasn't animated, I wasn't interested in it at all. I just see some dude with a hat and I'm like, whatever. Or whatever 6-year-old said in the 80s. Actually, that probably would have been the early 90s. Whatever kid said something in the early 90s. Or late 80s. As if it even matters if I'm correct or not about this. I really can't remember how old I was when I saw it. I know I had to be 4 or 5 or whatever, but if it wasn't animated, if somebody handed me a video, I wasn't interested, and I just remember seeing Temple of Doom, and it was like really the first action movie, and it was the first Indiana Jones movie I ever saw, and it blew my mind. It opened up a whole new world of movies for me. Like, I watched it over and over and over again with the mine carts. I thought the first part of the movie was horribly boring, but the minute he put on the hat and I saw him like beating up guys, and he had a bull whip and he was swinging across things, which for some reason I thought was so cool. And then my dad brought, because it was around the time, I guess it must have been 88, 89, because it was when The Last Crusade came out. And my dad showed me that one. And I didn't like that one as much until like towards the end where the movie really speeded up. I still always thought, for a kid, I think Temple of Doom is the most interesting. And then later on, Raiders of the Lost Ark was the last one I saw, which again started out cool, but then there was this big long pause where I wasn't that interested as a kid, and then towards the end, when I saw that face melt, oh my gosh, that was practically amazing. But now Raiders is like the best one. It's Raiders, Last Crusade, Temple of Doom, and then Crystal Skulls. That's the order I like now. But when I was a kid, it was Temple of Doom, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then Last Crusade. Your taste changed. But I'm going to stop now because you've already seen this a million times. I keep on dying. But anyway, I hope the story of my Indiana Jones filmmaking, whatever else I was blabbing about, because I don't even remember, was worthwhile and awesome to watch on YouTube. Thank you for watching my videos, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.